Broad Run takes a beating a week ago at the hands of Stonebridge. Last night they had undefeated Heritage in another big one. How would they respond? It's $1 billion industry, the NCAA recruiting game. But this app changes everything. We'll take a look at the Route Analytical software.
Last week, we took a look at a story that you're only going to see here on High Def High School. Xan Korman, photojournalist to student athletes who lost his life too soon to senseless gun violence.
It shows how many people he really touched.
Welcome everybody to High Def High School, brought to you by Quality Chiropractic. As always, bringing it to you, Chad Ricardo. I'm Joe Ball. A battle of undefeated teams went down in Northern Virginia last night in Springfield. Robinson was on the road at West Springfield. It was supposed to be Grant St. Clair versus Adrian Mejia. There's a little twist in that one.
And of course, we had our first official taste of 2021 WCAC action as the Zags and the Stags linked up last night.
And Broad Run testing that Heritage crew, though. Braden Smith and his crew. SoCo was at home against Woodson, and up in Maryland, Chad, Northwest, Linganore, and QO all had manageable opponents.
Exciting times for Maryland, Joe Ball, because right after this, we've got Flowers taking on Wise. This is a matchup we've all been waiting for.
Let's get to some game action from last night. Chad was in PG County for our game of the week, DeMatha and Gonzaga.
It's a beautiful day for a tailgate, and who could have guessed Eagle would be on the menu? Number 11 Gonzaga visiting the 5th-ranked Stags in our High Def High School game of the week. First game of WCAC play, and the DeMatha defense set the tone early. Smothering Gonzaga, leaving Carson Pettibone and the Eagles with little room to fly. Stags freshman quarterback Denzel Gardner was poised from the jump. His on-target deliveries led to Daniel Holbrook, giving DeMatha an early 3-0 lead. The Stags came into this matchup having shut out their previous two opponents, and with pass rush like this, it gives you an idea how. Second quarter, and offensive coordinator Danny Schachter's offense starts to cook. Carson Pettibone with a little sea bass magic, and Gonzaga looks like they're in business. They weren't. Poor exchange cost them a shot at a field goal. Following a deep pass to Penn State commit KJ Winston, DeMatha was inside the 10. And on 3rd and goal, Denzel Gardner calls his own number. Stags take a 10-0 lead into the half. In the third now, Gonzaga gets the break they've been looking for. Alec Easter on the block, and Maxwell Edmonds on the recovery. 10-6, and here comes Gonzaga, right? Yeah, not so much. Ensuing kickoff, and it's KJ Winston. Big kickoff return, telling his teammates, we are back in business.
I seen one guy was free, got around him and just hit the lane, and I had to make a play.
Moments later, Gardner looking deep, and mama, there goes that man. KJ Winston putting on a show. I went to school with his father. Shout out Kevin Sr. Go Dukes. 17-6 Stags. Next DeMatha possession, and the wheels have completely fallen off. Gardner to Kalen Cobb, who runs through 5 Gonzaga tackles en route to the end zone, and a 23-6 lead. Now the Stags definitely deserve a little more respect from a couple of those other DMV media outlets. Jaden Bacon would punch one more in as DeMatha rolls 30-6 in the opening night of WCAC conference play. KJ Winston, just how good can you all be, bro?
Oh, we can be great. You got to keep up the great work and stay together.
Centerville stalking into Chantilly in what was slated to be a big-time matchup between one of the best offensive players in the area versus one of the top defensive standouts. First quarter, Isaiah Ragland races around Aiden Cabrera 27 yards to the house, and Centerville takes an early 7-0 lead. In the second, Chantilly matriculating the ball down the field. Antoine Jackson gets the ball to the 10, but the drive would stall, and Jaden O's field goal is just a bit outside. The Centerville defense played lights out all night, bro. Gabriel Shanks on the stop. And as time ticked away in the second, Ragland strikes again. This time a 57 yards for the tutty. 14-0 Wildcats. New half, same story. Hand off to Isaiah Ragland, and you can't stop Isaiah Ragland. You can only hope to contain him. Unofficial statistician says the young man went for over 200 yards tonight. Also had 3 touchdowns. Ragland messed around and got a triple-double.
We went at halftime knowing the game wasn't over. We still had another half to go and to keep burning the wood, like Coach said.
Our offense line did a great job, and Isaiah just, he's a tough back. He's one of the best in the area, maybe one of the best in the state.
Centerville over Chantilly, 21-7.
So this battle of playoff-bound teams fighting to stay undefeated went down without the hottest quarterback in Northern Virginia. Adrian Mejia on crutches, broken leg, he's done for the year. Enter in Manny Baskerville, a running back, and it turns out a very talented quarterback. He would be facing a disagreeable bunch on that Rams defense. Well, we got to see that relationship pan out quickly on the Spartans' opening drive. Manny Baskerville turns it upfield. Big collision with Sean Pierce. Impressive start for Baskerville, filling in for Adrian Mejia. He moves the Spartans downfield. They get a field goal and go up 3-0 on their opening drive. Rams' first drive. Luke Lepresti hands it to the hoss, Will Cohen. He's got business downfield. 50 yards later, the Rams are up 7-3. 3 and out for the Spartans on their second drive. Alex Perrin punting away. Luke Lepresti takes it around midfield, all the way down into the red zone, out at the 18-yard line. Next play, Will Cohen around the left side. He's in all alone again. It's coming back, though. Lepresti drops. He stretches it on the right side. He's picked. Dante Lord brings it out to the 30-yard line. Then Manny to Josh Cole. Warder sticks him. Ball is rolling. Anthony Hamilton scoops that up, and he's in the end zone before anyone can figure out where that ball ain't. Spartan coaches were not happy that there was a whistle blown. The crews in Northern Virginia are smaller. They are working with what they have at this point. Both staffs no happy with the stripes on Thursday night. Meanwhile, a botched snap on the point after. Grant St. Clair gets it on the corner and gives the Rams 2. It's 15-3, just like that. Next drive, Baskerville back to pass. He launches this one. Connects with Jacob McKinney, who's in the end zone. 65 yards. It's 15-10 at that point with just under a minute left in the first quarter. The Spartan Heights squad is lit and making some commotion. Second quarter, Grant St. Clair, Dylan Byerline, a little mix directs. And Will Cohen is trotting again. That one's 58 yards, and the Rams are up 22-10 with 9:50 left in the half. Baskerville moving the Spartans. He's got Jacob McKinney again. This one covers 18 yards. Spartans hanging tough. It's 22-17. They get the ball back again, but they're about 80 yards away from that end zone. Doesn't matter. Manny, he's looking for Aaron Fields, and he's got him. Esamang grabbing a little of that bridle. They throw a little horse collar real estate in on top of that catch. Spartans in goal-to-go situation. And Manny. Did I say Mejia? No, Manny getting it done. He's on the corner, and just like that, we got us a lead change. The Spartans up by 1. And it would stay that way as Robinson blocks the extra point. 23-22 West Springfield at the half. Those hypesters, they believe. After driving the Spartans deep, Manny drops the ball and Ian Outram scoops and is jetting downfield. 89 yards and a big turn. The Spartans had the mojo. Robinson takes the lead back, and Grant St. Clair just pushes it ahead on the QB sneak up the middle. It's good, and it's 30-23. Robinson at the 7:13 mark, third quarter. Spartans still fighting. He's got his younger bro, Enan Baskerville, spinning, making moves, pushing all the way down to the 2-yard line. Robinson finally stopping him, but Manny punches it in on the next play, and it's 30-29 with 4:57 left, third quarter. Fourth quarter now. Manny drops back. He goes over the middle looking for Aaron Fields, but Alan Hagler playing center field. He picks it. 30 yards straight in. That sealed the deal.
I look to the quarterback, Billy Waters, shout out number 33. He rocked him. Quarterback throws the ball up. I look, grab ball, and pick six all day.
That was great. You see, you're cruising down the sidelines. Did you know right away you had it, or was it
Well, it was kind of iffy at first. I was kind of bobbling because I was a little nervous. But then I got a hold of it, and I scored.
Robinson still undefeated. They are 6-0 now, 44-29 tonight over West Springfield. They've got Lake Braddock coming in to visit next week. And coming up, the recruiting game is big business for lots of third-party companies, from elite athletic training to scholarship consulting. But one app says it'll save families thousands of dollars. Really? We'll take a look.
And we'll also take a second look at the amazing life of Xan Korman and the tragic loss.
And getting ready for colder weather, and the high school football playoff picture is just around the corner. Stay right there. High Def High School's got more after this.
That felt good. That was a good
If
one.
you've got arms, legs, a back, if you've got a body, period, you're going to need quality care. And the team at Quality Chiropractic treat you like family, and they heal people.
I love being here at Dr. DeMatha, the girls in the front desk. They make you feel like family when you come in every time.
Healing whole people, not just backs. Quality Chiropractic is here for you. Call now and book your appointment. Quality Chiropractic, adjusting the quality of your life.
We'll have a little bit more high school football action coming up in a bit, but here's a question. How much is it worth to spend on your child's future? SAT prep? Tutoring?
And how about in sports, Joe Ball? I mean, elite athlete training. It's a billion-dollar industry, but the question is, will it help your student earn a college scholarship?
What if you had a realistic expectation on just where your student athlete would fit in to the colossal world of NCAA sports?
We got sold on another thing when LJ was in middle school, that it's going to be helpful, we're going to help you with your SAT prep. Big mistake, big waste of money.
We save parents time and money and a whole hell of a lot of frustration.
It's a billion-dollar industry. Third-party companies contributing to the college recruiting industry.
There's a myth that parents have been sold, right? And that is, if you post enough film and you pray that someone will discover you.
There are more than 1.1 million student athletes in the country, and the average parent spends about $1,000 on helping their kid get an edge.
It eliminates shooting in the dark, and it gives you a target to shoot at.
Craig Ridley is the co-founder and CEO of Route Analytical Software, a recruiting tool that gives parents a realistic look at where their student athlete might fit in the finite world of 90,000 available college athletic scholarships.
So we level the playing field, not only for these athletes, but for the colleges and the universities who are looking for talent that they may not otherwise think that they have.
It's been a game changer. It's been absolutely, it's so easy to use.
LJ Frazier is not unlike most kids with the schools he'd like to play for.
Pittsburgh University, say Alabama, Clemson, LSU, and Georgia, kind of like the big schools.
But he's not like most kids. In fact, that's what makes Route stand out. They help every athlete see exactly where they are most likely to find a fit in the recruiting game.
We're looking for them all. We're looking for the 99.97% that get ignored.
Route helps student athletes look realistically at schools they may not have considered and that actually might be looking for them. So what schools did Route suggest LJ put on his radar?
I've got Duke, Old Dominion, Virginia, East Carolina, and Charlotte as my top 5.
Route accounts for grades, size, speed, athletic performance, and statistical data, but it looks at more than just the player. It pinpoints what specific schools are looking for. what the average of those overlapping characteristics to your student athlete and matches the data against the historical athlete recruited at those institutions. And the best part?
First off, it's free.
Now, Route does not guarantee a scholarship, but it does put a tool in the recruit's hands that, according to Craig, eliminates unrealistic expectations and give an accurate probability of where and what programs your athlete will match up with.
Hey, last week we took a look at a story that you're only going to see here on High Def High School. Zan Corman, photojournalist to student athletes who lost his life too soon to senseless gun violence. We looked at the tragedy of his death, but this week we take a further look at the legacy of his life.
There has to be something good. And I know I've said that a lot, but we can't make it happen for our own son anymore. Let's make it happen for a lot of someone else's.
When Zan Corman was murdered, no one would have blamed his parents had they chosen to shut down and mourn the loss of their son.
That strength in this difficult of a time is just really inspiring.
Instead, though, they started a fund.
That fund will be used to support scholarships in photojournalism, social justice, which was an important cause of Zan's, gun violence, a scholarship hopefully at Butler University where Zan was a rising junior, and to support the Living Legacy Foundation that facilitated his organ donation.
In hopes that Zan's legacy would live on.
Maybe it changes someone's trajectory in life.
On Sunday, the first annual Zan Corman Classic was played at Archbishop Spalding High School in Severn, Maryland.
Never would have thought in a million years that people would be wearing jerseys with his picture on it.
A star-studded affair filled with big-time hoopers of all ages.
He would love to be at an event like this.
Talent was on full display.
This was actually like one of his things that was on his bucket list that he wanted to get done.
And more than just ball, the student athletes knew that they were playing for a bigger reason.
Zan was, he was a real good person.
High school recruiting was negatively affected by the pandemic. The NCAA imposed dead period made it difficult for student athletes to be seen.
9th and 10th graders didn't get an opportunity to play at some schools.
The Zan Corman Classic provided a platform
for those kids to prove themselves, against other, really great, really talented players in our area.
Zan's creative influence on how high school student athletes are now covered was on full display as well.
We had a total of 30 creators in here.
There's this really serious community that are both inspired by him.
Through his work, Zan helped develop this symbiotic relationship between the student athlete and the storyteller.
You can really tell it's starting to be more of a culture kind of thing, where we're starting to tell these players' stories and how their impact on the court also impacts their lives outside the court.
Designed to be a community affair, the Zan Corman Classic helped to illuminate the crisis that had taken the life of Zan and so many other young men.
His life taken in that tragic way was just something that shocked all of us, and it's something that just needs to stop.
All-encompassing, the Zan Corman Classic and the fund is, as Steve and Carolyn say, an opportunity to turn something horrific into something good.
Everything that happened here today is really going to the Zan Korman Memorial Fund, and that's what this is all about.
Being here to support the photographers and the players when they're young, can't ask for more than that.
And Joe Ball, last week after the broadcast, there was a big-time game between previous undefeateds as Stonebridge and Broad Run did battle.
And we got a good look at Broad Run last week. We know they're going to be a team that makes a big run to the playoffs, but last week they got tested by a big monster.
Joe, they didn't get tested, bro. They got dealt with.
And we're going to deal with them right after the break. Stay right there. High Def High School is in session after this. Hey, you can go online to highdefhighschool.com or on YouTube on our channel. Just search High Def High School. We're open 24 hours a day, Chad.
That's 24/7.
Anytime you want, you can check out previous episodes of this show. You can always come here at 11:30 a.m. Saturday mornings on WJLA. But check out previous episodes there and all of our great digital content. And we want you to engage during the week with Chad and I on social media. But right now it's time to talk about that game. Last week it was one of our games of the week. Broad Run at Stonebridge. That was a huge matchup of two unbeaten.
It was a big-time matchup, Joe Ball, and even though that game was a week ago, I feel as though it kind of began to tell a story for these two teams as we get into the thick of the playoff race.
64-7. So now, Broad Run, they're still going to make a huge run in the playoffs. They play at a different level than Stonebridge, but Stonebridge is just, I think they might be probably the best team in Northern Virginia right now. We wwon't know that because they're at Division 5 and they won't ever see the South Counties. They did see Madison earlier in the season though.
When we take a look at this Stonebridge team, Joe, they have faced big-time teams and they knocked each one of them down. We saw them, like you alluded to, knocking off Madison. They took down Freedom as well. They played Colonial Forge and beat them up. Also, Coach Mickey Thompson's team is truly rolling. It didn't hurt them that I personally gave them motivation going into that Broad Run game.
This is probably also one of the better teams in 4A in Northern Virginia.
I am rolling with Broad Run, like I said, until the wheels fall off. Joe Ball, I am Spartan strong. I believe in Brett Griffiths, Alex Birchmeyer, that running backs, the wide receivers.
We're not saying the wheels didn't fall off last Saturday afternoon. However, they probably got it back in the lab and got them put back on. So last night, Broad Run had another big game. Heritage coming in 5-0. Broad Run looking to bounce back from the Stonebridge thumping. Broad Run was disruptive to everything Heritage wanted to do. They put pressure on Braden Smith all night long. Late first quarter, Brett Griffiths moving his pocket. Arnav Thornhill, he's got grips. Sets the Spartans up at the 2. Next play, Isaiah Lemon takes it on in. It's 7-0 Broad Run. Brett Griffiths, still first quarter. Again, Thornhill. But this one is coming back. Lots of penalties tonight on the Spartans. Cost them quite a bit. Griffiths keeps driving. Again, his favorite first quarter receiver, Thornhill, keeps it moving. Brett rolling right. He's got Isaiah Lemon. Looks like he's got a first down. Strolling back. And you know what? The Stripes are going to take that one back too. Griffiths. Lemon moving it into the red zone. Next play, Brett drops the snap, scoops it up, shoop. Thornhill in the back of the end zone. It's 14-0 with 8:57 left in the half. Fourth quarter, Griffiths rolling again. Long one, guess who? Thornhill to the 2-yard line. Griffiths pounds it in on the next play. A little sauce. And look at that face. These guys do not like one another, and I'm not including Heritage in that relationship. Broad Run 28-0 tonight. Important response from a week ago.
It's so important because considering how poorly we played on both sides of the ball last week, defense and offense, but to let up 64 points last week, we faced some adversity throughout the week. Had a tough week of practice, but we came out here to force a donut. That just shows how well our defense is going to respond, and they did a great job.
And it's time to pick 'em. Joe Ball and I are taking sides on the other side of the break. The biggest games in the DMV, who's going to win them? High Def High School is in session. Stay right there.
Welcome back to High Def High School. Don't touch that remote.
Okay, Chad, now it's time for that part of the show where we ruffle some feathers.
Yes, ma'am.
And sometimes brew some feelings. Let's start in Northern Virginia. Lake Braddock is playing Robinson. Those two schools very close to one another in proximity, just around the corner, and they don't like each other, and it used to be a bigger rivalry than it is, but that's a pretty big game. What do you see there?
When I look at this Robinson team, though, Joe, every single year they can run the ball, and this year no different. I believe that they go and they play Braddock, and they run right over Lake Braddock, continuing their run through the playoffs. I'm rolling with Robinson.
But Daniel Lipovsky's had about 6 weeks now to grow into his skin. I think this game would be a lot different if Elliott Miney was healthy. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the purple and gold is going to walk all over Robinson this week. I'm counting on Daniel Lipovsky, Dylan Corey, and the guys are going to get it done. Bruins set themselves up in a little bit better position with South County just a few weeks out. Now to our game of the week. In the WCAC, Gonzaga down on Capitol Hill will be hosting the folks from Our Lady of Good Counsel.
This is a big-time matchup. Joe Ball, of course, we just saw WCAC play kickoff with DeMatha taking on this Gonzaga team. I went against Gonzaga last week, Joe Ball. I said that DeMatha was going to beat them. It hurt my heart to do so. I thought they were going to revoke my library card. They didn't. But this week, especially hard for me because as much as I love Coach Trivers, I got as much love for Coach Andy Stefanelli and this Good Counsel squad as well.
Gonzaga's been struggling a little bit this year. I think that they've probably missed a beat from where they were in 2019. Good counsel seems to have gotten stronger. They got wiped out by St. Francis, but they knocked for St. Francis off during that springtime season. I think Coach Stefanelli has got this team on the move. I'm going good counsel in this one. Who do you got?
Yeah, it's not a bad choice, and again, it's not doesn't speak badly of them because everyone gets wiped out by that St. Francis team. Joe, I think that you're on to something here. I look at good counsel, and anyone that is familiar with WCAC football knows that no matter how great of a year that Gonzaga is having, they have a difficult time with good counsel. This good counsel defense gives their quarterbacks, their offensive coordinator fits. They've got big-time linebackers out there that are going to give problems to Gonzaga. And so that is why, Joe Ball, when the chips are down, I too am rolling with Gonzaga. I'm coming back home to Coach Trivers. The Gonzaga Purple People-Eating Eagles will upset good counsel. They'll get back into the top 10. Coach Trivers, take me back.
All right, so Chad's taking the Zags at home. I've got the men from Olney coming down and knocking them in the mouth down there on Capitol Hill. That's all the time we have. You know, we want you to come back here every Saturday morning at 11:30 a.m. and check us out here on 7 News WJLA. And then you can go online to highdefhighschool.com and our YouTube page. Just search High Def High School and check out all of our digital content and all of our past episodes anytime, 24 hours a day. And make sure during the week you're interacting with Chad and I on social media. We want to hear what you think. We want you to make some picks. We are out. For Chad Ricardo, I'm Joe Ball. We'll see you next time right here on High Def High School.